this is something a little bit different to what we used to do. Yeah, but we have learned a lot in the last 2 years, 2 years in regards to the other side of what's going on in the physical and everything else. Yeah, and Irene's become a really good friend of ours. And
Very good.
she's done quite a few podcasts already, but we're just going to just be talking about literally the grunt of it. Now she's been to court and we've got all the evidence and all the carry-ons and everything else. And we've got a video for everybody to watch, which was a recording from the Tribunal. Is that right, Irene?
Yeah, the Health Practitioners Disciplinary Tribunal.
Yeah. Now we're
going on at the same time as the courts.
Now we did get asked to just put it online so people can see it, but I know this is really serious, but it is also comedy genius on what they've done. It is absolutely hilarious. The buffoonery, there's the absolute carry on, and the thing is, how many other people have done this too?
Yeah, well, my heart breaks because I did that 2015. I was suicidal through their processes, and I know midwives taking their own lives and taking antidepressants and working in the hospitals, and it's ruined their home lives, family lives, relationships. And we've got a lot of good midwives out there selling real estate and cleaning homes when they should be serving the women and communities, which is their passion, but it's all been taken away. And it's got to stop at some stage. It's just got to stop. And this is why we're here today, is to give public awareness to what's going, what is really going on behind the scenes. We've got high C-section rates. There's no preventative care or anticipatory care. My journeys across the world has been incredible. So I think I'm just going to start a little bit, whereas I started nursing in 1977, I was very young, and I staffed, at the end of that, I staffed for a year in a surgical ward, and I just saw these operations, and I said, well, surely we can prevent all this. What is it about? And then suddenly I found myself doing midwifery. The books fell on the floor. I was the last midwife to do the 1-year course, and it was a real crash course. But then, having done that and spent many years in it, then you've never accrued enough points, so you're never competent. You never fit their profiles. And I trained hands-on. I trained on the wards 24/7. I was paid £8 a week. I was working with the most expert midwives, obstetricians. We had coffee mornings together. We learned from each other. The midwives who were trained hands-on, boots on the ground, were teaching the practical skills and the common sense to the academics, which were the doctors. And there was a balance. And we were all friends. We used to have parties together. We socialized together. We worked together. And in those days, it was for the best interests of the women and families. But all that's been taken away with great division. And now we've gone totally academic, and we've lost the wisdom and skills. They've thrown out the books that are more than 5 years old. And I know that when I was in China, I wrote 5 textbooks, 5 new ones, and an integrated model, and I had to go way back to 1845. And some of those questions were brought up from the 17th century, like putting the umbilical cord, a placenta can regenerate. None of that is in any of the textbooks. So we've fixed that in China. But it seems that our current people that, well, I don't know who they are, but running the system doesn't want that.
And that's New Zealand, because you're in New Zealand now, aren't you?
I'm in New Zealand, but I think it's global, really. It's global because it's been heading that way for a long time. They will only select the topics that they want to hear when you go to conferences and things like that. So the real nitty-gritty stuff of really reducing the C-section rate, you know, trying to get Jenny from China on the international platform was very difficult, because she was a martyr in China. She stood up to everything to put working with the conscience back into the hospitals and making it more like a homely environment, and, you know, getting the obstetricians to actually communicate with the families instead of just giving forms out. You know, it was a huge task, but we did it. There was a whole team of us. We had Edson D'Souza from Brazil, Ricardo Herbert Jones came across. I even brought midwives from New Zealand and experts from New Zealand to China to, you know, because at that time they thought that, you know, New Zealand was leading the way. But when I came back from China, it just seemed to have been demolished.
But overnight, really, overnight.
Yeah, just about overnight, it was demolished. And, you know, it's just hard to describe. And like, you know, when I came back, I went into the hospitals, and there was no happy environments. It was just a set of bullies, everybody bullying one another, not trusting each other. You know, and who can work for a long time in situations like that?
In all honesty, that's what it's like now in society. Sorry. Everywhere I go, everyone I meet, you know, customers, blah blah blah. It's the same thing. Don't know where it's come from.
Well, I was just in the I think it was the Chemist Warehouse the other day, you know, and I took my Chinese family in, and it didn't seem to be like a queue. You didn't where people were standing, and I was oblivious in my own world, and we just walked to the front, and then we were just yelled at, and I thought we were going to get accosted for for walking at the front, just to, you know. And it's like, well, it's okay, you go first. We didn't realise, sorry. And you can't even say that without being attacked.
Yeah, no.
You know what's happened to society. I was on a few months ago. I was just, it was like a corner shop on a main road, and there was a hit and run. The car came and hit the woman over, knocked her over, and took off, and nobody stopped to help her.
Wow.
You know, what is happening? You know, you used to, when I came to New Zealand 30 years ago, if my car broke down at the side of the road, somebody would pull a car up and said, "You want some help?"
Yeah. I know somebody that came across a dead body in a van, died of a heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
He broke the window, and next thing you know, the police want to do him for criminal damage. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He wanted to break in and see if he could revive
Yeah,
the man.
yeah. It's meant that, and that's in the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in the UK. You know, it's like nothing come of it in the end. But like, well, I mean, it's a threat. You can't preserve life.
Yeah, well, it's like you're guilty until proven innocent for something you didn't do. It's like, and none of it makes
It's all victim
sense.
crimes now as well, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, I've seen so much, and I was bullied in the courts by judges. I was defamed. I'd never been in a criminal court before. I've never done a crime. I've never harmed anybody. As a matter of fact, I keep rescuing people.
Yeah, so it all started off basically because
you wouldn't have the.
You stuck to your guns, and no, and nor should that go to pregnant women and unborn children. That's basically it.
Yeah, well, it's you can't do that if you don't know what's in it. You can't tell someone to take it. I mean, to pass your drug test, your drug administration test, you have to know what's in it, what's the duration of it, what side effects there are.
Would you be careful with like aspirin, paracetamol, and all that? You know, just the basic stuff. You'd have to be careful with all of that as well, I presume. I don't know.
Yeah, well, if you've got a history of the woman and she's got liver problems, you're not going to give her paracetamol because you know it can cause liver problems.
Yeah, and if you did, would that get you into trouble?
If I gave it, yeah, in those days I would have been taken off the register for doing that.
There you go. It's amazing.
You know, and I couldn't, and in those days you couldn't use any research that was sponsored by drug companies.
Right.
You couldn't use any of that. It used to have to be peer reviewed outside that. But it seems that, you know, when they were teaching them the health professionals here, I looked at they were doing a course, and I looked at the papers, and they were all sponsored by Pfizer, Westpac, Gavi, all of those. And I'm saying it's a big no-no. I can't even be complicit in this.
No.
And I don't know where that code of ethics has disappeared to. I just really don't understand. Well, we know now, but like, how can you break that when it's so embedded into what you're taught?
Yeah. Well, like BC's changed now, isn't it, to before COVID?
Well, yeah, I mean, like the COVID
We've
thing and the
moved on from
lockdowns.
BC AD to the new BC.
Yeah.
Everything
Well,
was great, but now it's not.
I've got no colleagues left. People I worked with for 20 years.
Are they all terrified?
Students
Are they all terrified of popping their head above the parapet? I presume they are.
Well, they were told when
I presume they
yeah,
would be.
but when they suspended me on that lie, they were told by this Dr. Susan Calvert that they couldn't associate with me. I even had an international platform starting to give free education to our students.
Can you carry on with that, Ivy? Because the thing is, at the end of the day, that's the international side. What these are doing in New Zealand, yeah, they can't.
Surely that would just only be in New
Zealand,
wouldn't it?
Well, you threaten that everything to do with pregnancy or birth you can't talk about because they deem it to be midwifery.
You're talking about the birthing person, or whatever it's called.
The birthing, yeah, that, because I mean, it's like, after all these 42 years of experience, and I don't think anybody's got as much experience on their little finger as I've got. Basically, I can blow my own gasket about there. So, I'm a homeopath as well. I teach midwives safe use of homeopathy, using the physiology and knowing how the remedies work, and I had to research that. I teach homeopath how to understand the birthing process so they can prescribe their homeopathic. Yeah. But according to this lot here, you can't do that because you're doing midwifery.
And who is this lot here? Because, like you said, like we said on you don't even know who they are because they never even turned up in court, did they? Somebody was representing something, but whatever they was representing, the actual was the Ministry of Health.
Well, the Jane Isabella Birdsall has done all the documents, but there's no signatures from anybody in the Ministry of Health. There's nobody else in there.
The old Birdsall. So is she also the one that's got businesses in insurance as well?
Yeah.
I see now. That's interesting.
Liability insurance.
Liability insurances and everything else. That's kind of interesting, really, that she's not just doing this, she's also got insurance companies and blah, 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 which we'll put a post on that.
I'm working for them. Maybe not her insurance companies, but, working for them.
Yeah.
It's all interrelated. You've got to follow the money and why these people are in these positions. And I think the public needs to be more aware and not just look at a personality and think, oh, that's a great personality, because we've all been deceived. We've all been duped over the years.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a list of all the health workers, ministers, and the state of some of them. We were playing as well, some pictures of that in case. I think most people have seen it. But one bloke, he's a woman. He's a bloke, but a woman, I don't know.
Yeah, well, people come across, right? They come across and they say, well, you anti-government. No, I'm not anti-government. I'm anti what they're doing with bad faith to the people. I mean, I did pro bono work at the Polish Association here, and it was built by the refugees from Siberia, and it was Labour Party that brought them in. And I spent, I think it was 14 years, cooking foods for Labour Party, knocking on doors, doing all this.
I remember when you were telling us about that. You said, I can't believe I've cooked dinner for them, and now they're trying to kill me.
Yeah, I know. How does that make you feel? I mean, like, New Zealand's very small. I mean,
you welcome the damn firing, obviously. Do you check for reflections while they was there?
How many people in the UK can say they've had a Christmas morning brunch with the Prime Minister. I mean, like,
And
only
which
happens
which
here.
one was that?
That was Helen Clark, but all of them. Oh no, I know all of them. I know Andrew Little. I can name them all. I mean, our lovely Jab Cinder. Yeah, I've got a picture of a selfie she took with me. How
Wow.
many people have got one of them?
I'll tell you what, keep the kids off the fireplace, I'll tell you.
Absolutely. So I mean, like, you know, all this anti-vax thing. Where's this anti-vax come through? I've had tetanus, I've had hepatitis B, I've had the polio as a kid, but they were different then. They weren't mRNA.
No. Yeah.
You know, and we've learned so much about them. So, you know, I think this title, this anti-vax, and I sent you an article, didn't I? Well, one of the midwives I knew, she said that women during COVID wanted the anti-vaxxers wanted a non-jabbed midwife. Anti-vaxxers.
Quite funny that as well.
And they were
Now
choosing to free birth.
Pilots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do. And they can't find enough of them.
Well, it's the same here, because they're still pushing the thing where the midwives still need to be vaccinated to go back into certain areas. Or if they've not had that vaccination, they're given a whole reel of other ones they've got to take before they go into practice. You know, so it's slavery. It's no more than slavery, this, and professional imprisonment as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it has to come out.
Haven't you? You resigned on the 5th of December 2021, and they refused to accept your resignation, and they've now gone down the route of
suspending
tribunal. Well, tribunal is only for employees, whereas you resigned, so they can't have a tribunal.
You weren't an employee.
Because you weren't an employee.
And that's like you say. That's the slavery.
You keep calling you practitioner when you're not. You're retired.
Which we're going to show in a minute. So we've got this video, right? So we've got this video, right? We're recording, right? And people have got to see it, basically.
See it to believe it.
You got to see it to, you have really got to see it to believe it. Because if we just put this online and then says this is what happened, people think we would like try to make it with AI and we didn't do a very good job. That's the way that, you know what I mean? That's how it'd be seen out there. Yeah. Right. So should we play it and then we can talk through it, right?
Yeah.
And like, hope not scare anybody.
That's what I was just thinking.
What? Scaring?
Yeah, I don't think you'll be scared. I think that people will be shocked. I don't think.
I don't know. I think we should have an 18 or at least an 18. What was horror film back in the day? What were they?
18.
18 plus or whatever. Okay.
16 plus. Or parental guidance.
The only thing is the sound quality isn't really good, right? I don't know why. Because
I should have checked that first. Hold on a second. Right.
I think just play it through in sections and you'll.
Yeah. If you want to go, if you want to go,
we'll
there and rewind it, whatever you want to do, and we'll do the same if we spot something. I've watched it a few times.
Yeah. Like play it for about 5 minutes and then stop, and then 5 minutes again, and then stop, and we can just go over it and because you've closed, you've got to have the observational skills. You've got to look at their how their body's talking as well. You know.
Yeah. If anybody watches this, we're really good at body language. Yeah,
we'd love feedback.
Love feedback on it. We've got our own ideas, but yeah.
Here we go.
Good morning, Ms. Chang.
I prefer to be called Irene.
Okay,
My name's Irene.
Okay, good morning, Irene. My name is Ms. Baker, and I'm the chair of the tribunal. And we have Ms. Nazar, who's representing the PCC, and Ms. Crosby, who is the executive officer of the tribunal. So thank you for joining this morning. The purpose of this morning's meeting is to make arrangements for a special matter down to hearing making the directions that we need to, filing any further documents or anything like that.
Okay, so before we start,
housekeeping meeting.
okay, before we start, I'd like everyone's liability numbers, a copy of the recording, and a contract that was before my registration and afterwards.
Okay. So there is no recording of this. Ms. Crosby will be taking notes and you get a minute of the meeting. I don't know what you mean about liability numbers, but no one will be.
Can I just stop that there, Irene? I
stop
don't
it there,
know
yeah.
what you mean about liability numbers. It's a barrister. Yeah. Does not know about liability numbers.
Yeah.
Just explain to people what the liability number is, guys.
A public liability number. Everyone who works in the public sector has to have public liability insurance just in case they make a mistake and cause harm.
What's the other one as well? There's two, isn't there?
Indemnity.
Indemnity, yeah. But she doesn't know anything about that whatsoever.
Because
Now,
they're responsible for their decisions. Right?
Exactly.
So she's the chair of the tribunal and she is also a barrister. But she hasn't got a clue what a liability number is.
Or a good haircut is, in all honesty.
No.
Okay, let's move on.
Shall we carry on?
Let's move on.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will.
No. So we'll try to organise matters to get this bit down here.
I have Tracy with me in the background.
Oh, who's Tracy?
Tracy, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Tracy. Tracy, would you like to come and put the camera so that we can see you?
Just stop there quickly. She knows who Tracy is because Tracy's absolutely like wicked at all this stuff. And she said she crossed her arms then. She was defending herself.
Did she cross her arm?
She crossed her arms. Yeah, if you want to just take it back a little bit. Just a little touch.
Oh, now you're asking.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she.
Hang on. Right, let's take it back a little bit. Hopefully that's enough. Did it go back enough?
Hard to see it.
Yeah, hard to see. We can't work that out. So, yeah.
Tracy, what, and you here as a support person or a representative or what?
I don't represent. I'm just sitting in the background taking notes.
Taking notes, okay. So you're a support person for Irene,
No.
are you?
I'm not a support person.
There's your contract trying to get you in the person.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just that normally what we give for these is the parties and their representative.
It's a legal thing.
That's a
correct?
legal thing, yes,
Right,
that's
and-
a legal thing. And we are fact and not legal. And if you're going to speak legal, you bring in a translator.
Stop it.
I don't know what you mean.
Stop it.
Yes.
Stop it. Could you smell something in the room? It midwifery. Council.
Well, the thing is as well, is like, you know, they know that they speak legal. They know this, it's a foreign language to English. Yeah. And I was in my rights to get a translator. And the ironic thing is I got an email back from this Andy Crosby saying, can you tell us what language you want your translator for?
And that's Andy in the top left.
Top left.
Andy or Andrea, he, she.
One or the other.
Yeah, and even in the correspondence back, they couldn't define whether they were he or she's or Mrs. or whatever.
Yeah. I think they're all a bit he, she, aren't they?
Yeah.
We'll let the public decide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let the public decide.
Yes, where it should be.
Like the
Just
thing
prove it in the
this is supposed to be something really serious. Yeah, this is the best that they can actually throw out, you know, because like what you're doing is sort of like up there, because this fails, it's going to pull the rug from a lot of things. So they've sent the best team out. Yeah. Right. Because obviously the repercussions of you winning all of this is massive within New Zealand and everywhere else. So they've sent the best lot out, right? And not just that, these lot in their secret meetings, you can tell as you go through this, I've gone through the questions they want to sort of like push you in a certain direction, do this, do that. Yeah, so they've had a conflab of what they're going to do. They've probably done it for 3 or 4 days, because I don't think they're that intelligent, not from what I've seen. So, and then you start throwing a spanner in the works by asking different questions, yeah, and then all of a sudden, all hell lets loose. And you'll see it later, you know. Anyway.
Well,
Sorry.
Well, the PCC lawyer is Farzana Nazan, and she's actually highly skilled in fraud and criminal cases, and had a deal to claim a case for fraud for 4.6 billion, I should say. So why would they put someone like her against little me?
Well, yeah, but look, I didn't even know that until you said that. That just goes to prove a point.
It does.
Yeah, what I've just said. Yeah,
the best of the best.
They've sent the best of the best out, and this is it. This is all they've got, right? So I don't know why we're not winning all this. You know what I mean? I don't know why we're in the ship we're in. I really don't know why we're in the ship we're in. I honestly. Anyway, let's continue.
Speaking 2 different languages by the judge. Right, so we're not playing the game. So let's have a look at your evidence, your fair knowledge evidence, and your certified true copy of the evidence.
I'm not going to hear the policy. I will hear from Irene. You can do the speaking. So when I commenced the conference, the first thing I wanted to clarify was, Ms. Navarro, you're speaking name suppression of the complainant, and whose name is.
Did you say his name is?
Yeah.
Right. So the name suppression they're talking about is Emma Farmer.
Yeah.
That has got no relationship at all with Big Pharma. Just one of them things.
And also,
right.
And also, they have stated that Emma Farmer is the complainant.
Oh, yes.
And then it turns to be a witness. So they're saying that it was the PCC, but now they're saying it's Emma Farmer is the complainant.
And you could, because you did a video. Is this yes. This is after the video, the YouTube one you did? Is that why they're trying to suppress the name?
No. This was before.
Before.
This was before.
You did
this was the 26th of January, and the court case. Can you imagine they've put this in just before the court case in February?
So we'll rewind it a little bit, because it sounds all a bit like that. But so they're talking about Emma Farmer. Yeah. And if we just rewind that back a little bit there, he says he.
Right, you ready?
Yeah.
To clarify this, Ms. Navarro, you're speaking name suppression of the complainant, and whose name is, remind me, Ms. Farmer.
Stop. His name is Emma Farmer.
Yeah.
Wow.
His name is Ms. Farmer.
Now, what we'll do here, we'll put a picture of Mr. whatever Farmer. Yeah. So you see what we're up against here. Yeah. But it does make you wonder, Irene, if a lot of these that you're dealing with are men pretending to be women. Now, I haven't got a problem with people dressing up whatever they want to do. I haven't got a problem. But if they're doing it for nefarious reasons, then I've got a fucking problem. Yeah. Because if these are what we think they are, yeah, the 33 gang, right? Now, the 33 gang are not allowed to have females in their clique. But if they can dress up as females, yeah, to come and do what they do, take money off people like yourself and other people. Yeah. We spoke about this before. We nailed this 20 years ago. There's two types, there's probably more, but there's two different types of court systems. There's the front system that me and you use, and then there's the back system, which they use. So basically, all the courts are all to do with all of that thing anyway. Yeah, the 33 gang. Yeah, but then what they do is they set up these sort of like disciplinary, these trials and stuff, and then they use the court, on the back system to extract money of victims. So they come in, they bully, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and then what happens is this money then goes into their back pocket. It doesn't go into the public purse, and that's why.
And then these people disappear,
gone, back as men again, disappeared, and that's why they wouldn't give you their number.
Their liability insurance number.
Because which one have we got a liability number for? Yeah, this one or that one, this one or that one. We haven't got a clue, right? So they take the money, they come into the public, like yourself. They do what they do. They use the courts, they pay the courts, they bring people in, they extract the money, and then they go. Who are you going to blame? You walk past these in the street, won't even know they are. It's been going on a very long time. We coined it 20 years ago. So the best way I can explain it is, it's like a chessboard. And guess who uses a chessboard?
The 33 gang.
The 33 gang. Yeah, it's all they're similar. So you've got a chessboard. Yeah, so here's a chessboard. Yeah, so the peasants are allowed to use it for playing giraffes. Yeah, but they use it for chess, which is different movements, different this, different that, kings, queens, knights, and everything else. So we're playing on the same board, but different rules. This is the back system I'm talking about. Yeah, so they come in, you think everything's legit. We had that with the 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Got all the paperwork and everything else.
You think it's legit.
You think it's legit.
And then you look into who these people are, and they do not exist.
Do not exist. Right, and this was 20 years ago, and we spent 5 years investigating this. The banks, everything. And we realised then 20 years ago what was going on. And so I can say without a shadow of a doubt, that's why we're doing this right now. Yeah, this is exactly what they are doing still to present day, like they did with you, found. So this is why you've got different names, a him, a she, a this, a that. And then what will happen is, because the first thing they do, they look at the victim and go, right, how much, what property do they have? How much money have they got? Yeah, okay, right, we can extract all of this, blah, blah, blah. If you lived in a tent somewhere and blah, and you had nothing, you wouldn't be sitting in this court now because there's nothing to extract. Do you mean?
Well, especially at 68, most people my age are sitting there.
They don't care. These people, we know full well what the thing is, and I don't know if anybody spoke about this before, of how they do it within the court system. They own the court system. They own all the legal system. They've been going on for thousands of years, for God's sake. But what they do is they bring you in, they just bombard you with fake paperwork. You think it's real. You think this, and when you challenge the paperwork, like we have through the investigation team, they shut up. They don't bring any official paperwork in, because guess what? They haven't got any. They just make it up to extract the money. Yeah.
So that's why you had four.
And it's clear, you can tell.
With no evidence.
No evidence. And the thing is, right, even if you say, well, there's legislation, right, they've got their duty of care to follow the legislation, right, to then bring you into it. And then all of a sudden, hold a minute, all the stuff you've gone and done to them, I've not followed anything, but then doing you because you broke one little, apparently you broke a little rule. And that's
and now, yeah, they've taken spirituality out, and they've used driven religion and belief systems out. But that's why in my court case there was only 2 of us that swore on the Bible, and that was a good guy from the ultrasound department, and everyone else just affirmed everything.
Yeah.
And you could see with the way they were looking there, they were smiling through and staring and glazing and colluding together in the corner of the courtroom.
Well, the thing is, wouldn't you, if you was in there, if you put yourself in their shoe, We can't lose. This is all about this. Blah, blah, blah. There's a house, there's a property, there's this, there's that. And you know full well they've done that to other midwives. We won't mention any names, but you know they're doing exactly the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So these people are the prosecutors, the judge, and the jury. They're all one. And so you have asked for full forensic audits on all the stuff. Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because the thing is, it goes into the back system. It goes into their back pocket. It's gone. So they can't give you a full forensic audit from the public side of it because it ain't there.
It's not real.
Because it's not real. It's there. Anyway, let's continue.
Right.
Miss Emma Farmer.
Oh dear God.
Has she got name suppression? Has she got name suppression?
So how this conference works is that I'm chairing it, and so you speak when you're invited to speak. So it's important, and you will get an opportunity to reply. So what I just wanted to clarify, Ms. Mazan, so you filed an email setting up the reasons why you wanted name suppression. So Irene, what's your position on the name suppression?
I think that she has caused malicious prosecution. That has caused hell for me over the last 2 years, and that she should not have name suppression, and neither will I.
So what that means is that because name suppression is a code, Tribunal will need to make a decision on that. So, therefore, if you could file an application and affidavit, and Irene, you will have a chance to reply to that, and then the Tribunal will consider whether or not they're going to grant name suppression.
Stop it. No.
Okay.
The tribunal will decide. So it doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter anything. They've already made that decision for that name suppression. The other thing, we just had an email the other day. They're supposed to have sent that document to us, which we never received, which we didn't receive. They should have done it at a deadline on the 16th. And I had a response on the 23rd. So I responded to them. I didn't, I just wrote to them and says, well, where is this documentation? Where is this affidavit? Did you send it registered post? I haven't received it. And I reminded them that I was suspended on a lie, that they'd also lied that I was a registered midwife in their minutes, practicing midwife, when actually I'm retired. So the lawyer just ignored all that. And then she came back and she says, oh, well, shall we send them to you now?
By email.
Carry on. Yeah.
So they had a deadline of the 16th.
Yeah, so it had to be in by close of play
on the 16th.
On the 15th. 16th, it was shot.
By the 16th, yeah.
By the 16th means by the close of play on the 15th.
Yeah, and by the way, Tracy did pick pick a letter up that was dated the 16th. They posted it on the 16th.
To where? To you?
To the PO box number.
How long will that take to get there on average? I mean, you know, if you put it into your post, would it get there the same day? So if you, what I'm saying is, if you post it, if you go, oh shit, we forgot to post that. We post it on the 16th, and then Tracy picks it up on the 16th.
Well, it's coming from Wellington. It's coming from Wellington to Auckland, so I would say it would take a couple of days.
Okay, right. So we've got a little problem there before we even start.
Yeah.
So it was posted on the 16th from Wellington. Yeah, apparently. Yeah, and it's arrived in your box the same day.
No. No, she didn't get anything on the 16th.
She didn't get anything on the 16th.
No.
But they said that she did.
No, the date of the letter that was the 16th, but we didn't get it till yesterday, which was the 24th.
Right. Sorry.
Which was the day after I was supposed to respond.
Oh, right. So they sent it so you couldn't respond.
Yeah.
Oh,
basically.
You know what? The plot thickens, doesn't it?
It really does.
It does. Honestly, this is a carbon copy of what we went through 20 years ago. That's why we watch it and we go,
Mm.
amazing. They're still doing the same scam.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they're still using the same format, right? And it's like,
But,
oh my
yeah.
God.
but just remember, if you go back to my resignation, I resigned by email on the 5th, as per their order. And on the 7th, I posted the confirmation that I annulled and abrogated. But they claim, and it went by courier, but it was in post. It was by courier post, but because of COVID, they got it on the 31st of December. So they used that as an excuse. So now they're reverting that and saying, well, we posted it you on the 16th, and therefore you've got it. But yet when I resigned, they're saying, well, you know, you posted something on the 7th and we didn't get it till the 31st.
Yeah, we've cleared the COVID years though now. but the thing is, they said they didn't get it till that date. You don't know if that's true. I wouldn't believe anything.
I wouldn't believe anything.
Yeah,
Any of
I wouldn't trust these like with my car keys. Would you? Anyway, let's crack on.
Let's carry on, guys. It gets more fun.
Do I? Sorry, Owen.
It gets more fun. Just carry on. It's like
I know we've only just started really.
we're just starting.
She should not have name suppression, and neither will I.
So what that means is that because name suppression of the code, tribunal will need to make a decision on that. So therefore, if you could file an application and affidavit, and Irene, you will have a chance to reply to that, and then the tribunal will consider whether or not they're going to grant name suppression. So, when do you think you could review an application for name suppression and submission documents filed by?
And next Friday, as usual, ma'am.
Right. Next Friday, we're 7th January next Friday, aren't we?
No, I don't think I will. The 2nd of February? 2nd of February, yeah.
Yeah. And by
And Irene,
the second of February is not good. I've got a criminal case that's dependent from this.
Listen. I've just asked Ms. Nadam to file an application by the 2nd of February. I'm now going to ask you to file your response by the 9th of February.
I can't do that. I'm facing a criminal case by the same Ministry of Health that have put this tribunal team together. The same thing, the same charges. I can't be tried twice at the moment.
You will have an opportunity to file your objections to name suppression by the 9th of February. If you don't do that, you will consider that based on Ms. Nadam's application. So following that, it will go through a tribunal to decide interim name suppression for.
Miss Baker, can I ask you what your job is?
I am the chair of the tribunal.
Are you a lawyer?
The information is on the tribunal website.
What law firm? What law firm? Which law firm? Which law firm? It's not Tracy, it's Irene speaking.
Okay.
Which law firm?
I'm a barrister and it's completely irrelevant. Okay.
Let's just stop there. Right. Let's just stop there. You just asked her who she's working for and what company she's actually representing or whatever. And literally the body language like, I can't give a fuck because like, I can't give any information out whatsoever. Now that to me, I mean, we did send, we have sent a letter. I mean, I never realised that New Zealand had kangaroos, but literally you've got them hopping around your courts, right? Because at the end of the day, she doesn't want to identify with a public liability insurance, what company she works for, or he, or whatever. I don't know anything. Now, at the end of the day, that's just a simple question to identify yourself, who you work for, and yeah, no, nothing. Now, they're not giving you anything in regards to
who
they are, because they are, like we said, the 333 gang, yeah, operating through the courts to obtain money off victims, put in the back pocket to do their business. And that is perfect proof of what they're doing.
Wow.
Yeah, if they was legit, yeah, they'll say
they would be very proud of their whole
proud of
career.
the job. This is who I'm working for. This is what it is. Blah blah blah. Yeah, completely transparent and everything else. But like, nothing. Yeah. So this is what we had, and what we had 20 years ago. Somebody I knew was a private investigator, and the lawyers that was involved, I had him investigate all these certain lawyers for this Dryden solicitors that they actually created, and not one of them existed in the real life. Not one.
And he had a list of every single partner on the website.
Yeah. He went through death, what, because sometimes register they get names that are off the death register. Yeah. And they used that.
He checked
everything.
Everything.
Didn't exist. So I was like, whoa. Yeah. And do you know what? I didn't think I'd see it ever again.
But it's obviously.
But it's obviously here we go again. Yeah.
This is what they do.
This is what they do. They're not giving you anything of who they are, what they do, what company they work for, their liability insurance, or nothing to even test their act. You don't even know if they're a real lawyer or barrister. They ain't got a clue. Don't even know who they work for. Not a clue. Anyway, come on.
The next thing is, you're going to deny the charges, are you, Irene?
There's no,
The
yeah,
disciplinary charge that was laid
there's
against
no,
you?
there's no evidence. Where's the evidence?
So, well, I'm about to reach that. So,
Oh, stop there.
you said that you think
There's a bit of body. There's no evidence. Boom! It nearly fell off. It nearly fell off his chair. Yeah, it was like boom. There's no evidence. Boom. Now I'm no body language expert, but that to me is like, oh, yeah.
It's just been whopped in the face.
Have one of them, right? Anyway, come on, let's continue.
was it, you would take 3 days, is it?
It's been 1.5 days now. There's 3 witnesses for the PCC. So I estimated 1.5 days. I think there are tentative hearing dates in early March, the 4th and the 5th of March. We won't be able to go up.
So who are the witnesses?
So,
You keep making a change in them.
Irene, how this works is the PCC filing their evidence, you see it all, and then you reply. Okay? So I'm going to make some directions.
I've already filed my evidence, so you need to reply to my international investigation team. No, this has to be fair, and this is natural justice.
Whoops! Stop. Now,
Whoa!
I don't know where she's doing this from, but it's a good idea. She's on a boat somewhere. It's like, whoa, back again. Yeah, like somebody that's so confident, right? Right, and don't forget, lawyers, Barrett, and all of them, they're trained with body language. They're trained to take control of a situation. Yeah, I ain't seeing this here. I mean, I'm no expert, but like, if there is experts out there, right? Eyes are closed. They're going back in the seat. Blah blah blah. The wig nearly fell off the head. Yeah, everything was all going on here. Anyway, come.
The other one's grasping.
The other one's grasping the throat because he's got that one in a death lock. Yeah, it's like.
And all you're asking for is who's the witnesses.
Who are they?
And natural justice. Natural justice.
You've not asked for like anything sort of like
Just good faith and natural justice.
Yeah.
And she went, oh.
Like, oh, yeah.
Okay.
Thank God you didn't invite these one for your dinner, Irene, isn't it? Other than that.
Fairness and transparency. This is what you
Whoa,
promised. This is what's on your website.
Stop there. Look, where are we going now? Where are we going now?
Fairness, transparency.
Do you reckon that wig's magnetic? It's fucking yeah. It's like
there's no transparency there. She's moving off the screen.
Then you disappear. Oh, well,
I've never seen so many places being pulled.
I haven't. I have, but not in the old days. But anyway, come.
And you must do that. And if you're not qualified in that, then you can't be on this committee. This matter is also with the Ombudsman.
Oh, it's coming back.
Thank you.
Oh, here we are.
As whistleblower.
Oh, sorry, it's Theo. Can I just interrupt? Because we were just talking
It's
about
Andy.
the time that we would sit the hearing down.
Well, I think we need to find, it's going to be leeway in the future, isn't it? It's not better.
Is there pertinent to the
Oh, there.
evidence?
A wee way in the future.
Did you see when she was going, and eye contact through the screen. She's like, and we. Do you see that? Just rewind it a bit.
Yeah, so what they do is they keep deferring it to prolong the agony and the tension, and they just keep deferring. But I think she's deferring because she doesn't want to confront it again, because I think she's had enough of me. Carry on.
Right, let's watch this bit again.
You can't be on this committee. This matter is also with the Ombudsman. Thank you. As whistleblower. Thank you.
Right, what's eye contact with him?
Oh, sorry, Theo, can I just interrupt? Because we were just talking about the time that we would sit the hearing down.
Well, I think we need to find, it's going to be leeway in the future, isn't it? It's not better.
Isn't it? Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have made that clear.
You did very clear. Seen it all.
Later on in here. Listen, you've got 3 witnesses. Where will you file those statements? I serve those on Irene.
Could we have until the 8th of March, ma'am, or is that too far out?
No, it won't be, because we're not going to be getting a spirit until sort of.
Well, just stop that there,
July or something.
Did you say that? I know she's. I know it's like mom and all that, but have you got different names for these people? Because you know these people from the past, I mean.
No,
Don't you? You don't.
No, never
No.
met them before.
Oh, you never met. You're
No.
not met them in the sort of like
No.
the Midwifery.
No.
No. Anyway, that's
Anyway, just because of the schedule and so on. So 8th March, which, and then I'm going to propose, Rain, that you have until the end of April to file yours.
Mine's already filed. Mine's done. The investigation's done. The international investigation's done.
You have an opportunity to file through the report and apply to the
I don't
PCP.
need it's all done, and
No,
I'm not going to change anything. My evidence is done. We found incompetence in your investigations of Phyllis Huitima. We found total incompetence in the research that she's done on the lab forms, and we want answers, and it's in that international investigation team report.
Okay.
That is sitting with the Ombudsman right now as a whistleblower. So I'm protecting the disclosure.
Further opportunity for the practitioner to file evidence.
Stop. That's the first time they've gone practitioner, Irene.
Calling you a practitioner.
Right? Should the practitioner? So they're actually saying that, hey, you still work for us. No, we don't. Yeah, you've not worked for them since you retired. Yeah,
Since you
I've not
resigned
worked for them since the 15th
Yeah,
of
2021.
November.
Yeah.
They fired me.
yeah,
They terminated all contracts. They
yeah,
fired me.
because none of that
Yeah,
was
they
going on.
fired you on the 15th of November 2021
You
because
didn't
you
want-
didn't want that,
Yeah,
and you won't promote that.
Yeah.
And then you kept getting phone calls from pregnant ladies still, so you resigned on the 5th of December just to make sure. And then they even emailed you back saying they were too busy to deal with
Remote
it.
deal with it. It's funny though, because they were too busy to deal with it, but they seem to have plenty of time now to extract money out of you.
Yeah, and all through the court case, they didn't take that off. The Dr. Susan Calvert didn't remove it, and she was the registrar at the same time. And then in the court, she tried to defame me by saying, well, Irene maybe have been a practitioner in New Zealand for 20 years, but it doesn't mean to say she was practicing, which was an absolute lie. And we caught her out.
I'm gonna have to fact.
Nothing but.
It's like the thing is though, Irene, they try to defame you because you're sovereign or you're one of these sovereign people, you know, blah blah blah. Yeah, right. And you're gonna bring sort of like how to say it?
They said I was going to discredit.
Council, if you,
Not when all they want to do is take away people's power.
Yeah.
You're all about giving people that.
They're under the delusion that I'm going to discredit the profession now. You know, how can I discredit the profession when I've given 42 years into it, you know, and I've got more knowledge and anticipatory care and reducing C-sections. And I actually have written their natural processes, the principles of natural justice processes in answering complaints. I know their system, even though I spent the last 5 years in China, because I've spent all that time supporting other midwives, and having gone through it myself, I had to become knowledgeable, and knowledge is power, and they don't like that.
No.
Well, you're the old guard, and they don't like that. That's what it's all about. But
Yeah.
the thing is, how the hell can you? They've done such a good job on their own of ruining the whole thing. I mean, even just on this, like, what, 20-minute video or whatever, it's just like,
We're only 10 minutes in.
we're only 10 minutes in.
Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah. 20 minutes in
Carry
total.
Right.
Carry on.
On a recess.
Right, I'm going to press play.
Go on.
If she wants to, so we have to by the 30th of April. Right. And then we go for a bundle of documents.
Sorry, 13th of April, CEO? 30th, okay, yeah.
Bundle of documents by mid-May.
Yes. You should have all the evidence, because the Ministry of Health have got their evidence in that case, which is the same organisation.
Yeah. So the
Which is
tribunal
total conflict of interest. And it does not represent natural justice or fairness.
Oh, here we go. Things are going on.
And it's complicit in treason.
Stop
And
boning.
I'll say it 3 times. Treason, treason, treason. Because you cannot force employment when someone has resigned. And the tribunal is for someone who is employed. So you have to
Exactly.
give me a contract. If not, there is no tribunal. And there's no suspension. Because you can't suspend someone when they've resigned. And suspension and resignation is unilateral. Which suspension?
Oh,
So
that's
I suggest you all have another meeting and discuss this, and then we meet again.
And if you'd like
Stop it there, stop it there. It just, yeah. So what I said is that having given you all of this, you need to stop this meeting and get together and have another hearing. And she's totally ignored that request.
Right. Yeah.
I know,
Because
every
we're
time
going
you
to
talk
do,
on, they're like,
Yeah.
is somebody saying something?
Yeah.
yeah, so we're the bullies.
Yeah.
We're the bullies. You're going to do what we say.
Mm.
Yeah, that's come very clear in this. Yeah.
Very clear.
Okay, carry on.
So that I can be
That's great. Thank you.
because this is a hearing, you'll have an opportunity to be heard fully. I've given you an opportunity to speak, and it's now important that I make these directions and that we can have a full floor.
Yes, and this is my terms too. This is natural justice. We are equals.
If you don't stop talking, I will actually have to mute you because I really just need to make these directions.
Now that is absolutely disgusting.
That is disgusting.
Absolutely disgusting.
Absolutely disgusting. I don't want to hear it. I'm going to mute you. Wow.
Who the hell do these people think they are?
I have no idea, but can you imagine? I mean, like, I have built up strength to do this,
Fair play,
okay?
Charlie.
But a lot of other midwives, a lot of other health practitioners, they don't have that strength because they don't have that knowledge. And, you know, how is it that because I refuse to take this makes me incompetent?
Exactly.
You know, that's what it boils down to. It's about, I didn't take this. So in their eyes, I'm incompetent. And they can't even prove that because we've got all the research. We've sent them all the research to say it's a lie.
How many babies you brought into this place, Harry?
Well, I think more than 2,000.
Wow.
And in many different countries, because I worked in the Middle East, UK, Middle East, UK, New Zealand, China. you know, and I'm respected internationally. I work with universities in the Middle East, and I write their textbooks, help write their textbooks, you know, on the new models of care. So, you know, how can I not be competent? Because a practicing certificate means they've deceived you. It means you're always practicing. So in their eyes, you are never, ever competent.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is where the trickery lies.
Yeah. Word magic. Yeah.
Yeah, carry on.
So the next thing is a bundle of documents by the 15th of May. And then we'll have a hearing. So what dates have we got for hearings, please, Ms. Crosby?
No, if it would assist to get a hearing date earlier, the PCC could file the bundle of documents earlier, say by the 3rd of May.
Sorry,
No
stop,
hearing.
stop, whoa, whoa,
Who's having
whoa,
another
whoa,
break?
whoa, 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 whoa. What the fuck is that?
Rearranging the wig.
You got a sweat on. I don't know. It's like, hold on a minute. You're supposed to be in control of this, right? Yeah, and obviously things aren't going to plan. Yeah, and like the shame of it.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
The thing is, we was just going to post this video, and we're like, nah, it's comedy gold all the way through this, and it is serious. It is really serious, but also, you know, there is comedy gold in all of this, and you've really got to show these people for what they are, what they are.
And they claim to be the professionals.
It's
So
unbelievable.
Heaven help our countries if these people are running it or claim to be running it. Who are they?
I don't know.
Go on, carry on.
Unless there's a contract, send me the contract.
Ms. Crosby, what would the earliest date be for a hearing?
This is treason. Thank
It'll
you.
be,
I claim
August.
trespass.
So August is going to be when the hearing is anyway. So what are the dates for the hearing, please, Ms. Crosby?
Well, it's up to your availability, but essentially, 1.5 days, it would be the last week of
Can you stop
July.
that there, quick?
Yeah, just stop it there, because you can tell she's the 33 gang because she's covering them now.
Yeah. The thing is, she just went, Miss Cosby, Andy what?
Yeah.
Crosby.
Crosby.
Yeah, Miss. So like the deceit in all of the names and Mr. Miss it, this, that, blah blah blah. It's like, who are you actually dealing with? You know,
I really don't know.
I don't know. I really don't know.
I think we need at least 3 days.
In July, I'm going to the UK.
So what have we got? How long?
So would we have to leave after that? 1 month.
Yeah.
I've not seen family for years.
So
because I've been ill from this.
Okay, August. What dates have we got, please, Ms. Crosby?
Shall we look at the 19th, the week of the 19th, or the week of the 26th? Or alternatively, well, actually, no, that one. If Irene was going to be away in July, then first week of August.
So 19th of August then?
Yeah, that's the Monday. Do we want to make it Monday?
Would you rather start on a Tuesday?
No, I'm not available those last 2 weeks in August.
Oh, that's a shame.
I mean, if there is anything, Ms. Crosby, in June, or even at the end of May,
No, I'm
we
not doing
can't.
it before.
I'm sorry, we absolutely can't.
And I want
You want to make we're on a Freemason convention that day.
Hang on, listen to what I said here. This is important.
The people said will decide what witnesses they want to call. And if there's some witnesses that you want to hear from, you can call them yourself. So that's you don't dictate what witnesses.
I cannot call them because it will breach the privacy agreement. Because I have no access to computer or those women, because we're talking about 3 years ago. So you have to call them in.
Yeah, no, well, we don't have to call anyone.
No, we don't have to do nothing at all. Right, hold on a minute. Oh, whoa. You're the tribunal, right? No, we don't have to do that. No, don't have to give him a name. You don't have to know who we work for. No, we don't have to do nothing. Just give us your money, right?
So they want you to get all the witnesses together, even though you no longer work for the Midwifery Council or the Ministry of Health. You've got no access to any computers, and if you did have access, it would go against the GDPR, wouldn't it? It would go against protection.
Yeah. And you can see how this trickery works, because what they'd do is they'd get you to respond first without them producing the evidence, hoping that you're going to hang your neck. Okay. And what they should be doing is providing us with the evidence which we asked for. Where is the evidence? Right. So they're wanting you to do all the work. So you find, and this is what happened in 2015, is that so you're submitting reams and reams of evidence and everything else, which they ignore.
What's to do?
Right. And it's just sending packages backwards and forwards, but going nowhere. Until you're absolutely drained, till you're absolutely stripped down, until you're actually crawling on the floor. This is what they do to health professionals. And it's not just in health professionals, it's in other professions as well. So this has to come out, and the public need to be totally aware of this.
Yeah. And that's exactly why we're going to do this video.
Yeah. Carry on.
Okay.
Where is the natural justice in this? And this is going to the Ombudsman. You've just breached your own.
I love Tracy living in that happening in the background.
For witnesses then, and you can summons witnesses as well. So if you want to apply for a witness summons, you can look at that. So September, what dates are we looking at? September,
We can be very open throughout September.
okay.
I bet you can.
That's in 2025.
What about the
Tribunals
What's that?
2025.
2025.
Demonstration that you've been put forward for $3.4 billion.
Okay,
Honestly.
okay, I'm going to mute you.
Goodbye.
So what is the date for the hearing? We're looking at the 2nd of September?
Yes,
Okay.
which is the Monday. So if we want to start on the Tuesday, it would be the 3rd.
Okay, so this was in 3 days. And
And
whereabouts is this one again?
Auckland.
Okay. So the place is set down for 3 days, commencing on Tuesday through September. The PCC will file their evidence by the 8th of March. If the practitioner wishes to reply, she can do that by the 30th.
Practitioner again.
Bundle of documents will be filed by the 15th of May. Either party is entitled to call whatever witnesses have, and if necessary, for witness summons.
And no time muted. They've muted me, so I can't speak.
Please, Irene.
can't speak.
Anything else you want to say, Irene?
Yes, there's 300
No,
women.
okay.
I think she's like YouTube.
Stupid, but
Is it-
Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, if any hearing dates do become available before that week in September, we will make ourselves available. The witnesses would like this matter to be heard as late as possible.
And
So,
all correspondence to go to private box 112 account.
Okay, so what was that again, please, Irene?
PO box 112 account.
PO box 11, so it's like 11.
Yeah.
Oh, well done.
Okay. And so you want all your correspondence to go.
You are not to disturb me in my private residence, because that will be trespass.
So we can report that you're interested for the PO box 11 Tribunal.
Yes.
So if Ms. Nazam and Ms. Crosby will send anything through to that address. Okay, that's fine. Okay.
What going on?
Anything else that we need to do?
Yeah, they're just doing what they want to do.
Okay.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
absolutely.
We want the
Yeah,
the first-hand evidence. certified true copies of first-hand evidence.
Still ain't got.
For the PCC to file their evidence.
So she's ignoring that.
First-hand evidence.
Of course she is.
I've got nearly 20 kgs of paperwork of rubbish with no first-hand evidence, and I don't want to go into the 5.
But we're off.
Yes, Emma Farmer, Anna Saunders, and Paula Stewart. They're the instigators.
I will leave that for you to have discussions, and if need be, you can find a witness. Okay, you're going to benefit of today's conference. Okay, thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Find out what law society she's in.
She was out of there like a shot.
She was, because we asked for the first-hand certified evidence and they haven't got it.
And they
And
closed the meeting down. As soon as you asked for that, they shut that
Yeah.
meeting down and they ran.
Yeah.
And to present day, you still haven't got any.
No, and the thing is, well, I mean, it's now February, so like September, it's going to be on for what, 3 years, 4 years, and you know, being put through the criminal court by the same people
Which you
for
will.
4 days of trial, and
Yeah.
a PCC of another 3 days of interrogation. For what? 5 lab forms?
That you did before you retired.
I did before I retired, yeah. Yeah, and
But
then
you-
the fake prescription form, you know,
Oh,
when
yeah,
I
yeah.
was in the hospital, they claimed I picked that up when I was in the hospital having surgery, that I left the hospital, went and ordered it, went back and had the surgery and went back and picked it up on the same day. You know, and you could see the collusion. They're all colluding with each other because they know when I took the Midwifery Council to the High Court in Wellington, it got struck out because they couldn't understand English. It was in legalese, and they struck it out because they said it was vexatious. And this is what they did to the farmers in America when they don't want something to go through, because I know if this goes through, it will bring the house down.
Fucking too
And
right.
this is so huge. Now we need the public in there. We need the public support. We
Yeah.
want you to write to Integrity Health New Zealand and demand that these people are audited. Midwifery Council, PCC, HPDT, Health Practitioners Discipline, they all need auditing. And the only way you can demand that is if you bombard them at Integrity Health New Zealand, because the Midwifery Council stands by itself. And if you put a complaint in, you can only put it into the Midwifery Council.
Right. This is a corporation then, is it?
Yeah, it was listed as a corporation in 2018. Before that, Midwifery Council was a charity in 2006. It calls itself Tia Whatu or whatever Midwifery Council, but that's not even registered. And a lot of people say, well, even before that, I know they say sometimes that not everybody on Dun and Bradstreet's a corporation, but they are a bad corporation. But these have been making money and milking the midwives, milking the professionals, and milking the public.
Yeah.
Because all this is costing public money to put through.
Yeah.
So you're paying for it. It's not free. It's coming from your tax dollars. It's coming from your elbow. You're working. You're rolling your sleeves up. You're all killing yourselves because the country's in debt and you're having to work even harder to pay their debt off, which results in the millions of dollars, trillions of dollars probably, that they're taking from you. And it's got to come out.
It's scary,
It
isn't it?
has.
When you
It's
actually
really
when you actually
scary.
see that for what it actually is and what they've done to other midwives and professional people using that same format. That format is the same format they always use. Yeah.
Yeah.
We clogged it 20 years ago. It's the same people, it's the same format, right? So that's why we went, when we watched that video, went, it's never like again. Yeah. And it's got to be exposed. So I just hope, right, that people watch this and realise this is the people you're dealing with. This is the enemy. This is who it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we'll do another one because we've got 2.5 years of stuff to get through, really. I mean, haven't we? We've got a lot of stuff.
There's heaps of it, because, well, that's what I said to her. I've got,
coming to the UK soon. I'm like, oh my God.
yeah, I've got 15 to 20 kgs of papers in a suitcase in my
We had the
garage.
same.
which
We had the
I-
same. We literally had folders of permutating stuff to prove every little bit of it. And in the end, we wrote to them and went, "You tell me where I'm wrong, and we'll go away." Nothing.
And they're still wanting to send me more bundles and
Listen,
more bundles.
Yeah.
You know, and they're just keeping it going because they want you to give up. They want, and most people do.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to do. Confusion. With paperwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it's good that you recorded that, because just to let them know as well. Anybody that comes in, I forget what anybody that comes into your camera is automatically giving you consent to be filmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're automatically. So they never record. They said they never recorded that.
That's right.
Why wouldn't they record that? Because it's off the books. It did not happen. We take all this off and we go to work. Yeah.
And after that, you need to show them, if you can pull it up, the minutes of the response of that meeting that they gave us.
We can click that on the thing, because the minutes that they said was completely different
to what we've all.
It's just referring to me as a practitioner when I'm not a practitioner, and all of that was excluded. I requested another hearing to be able to put the pieces together fairly. And they've absolutely ignored that. They're just going ahead because they've already made their decision. They've already made it.
They did this 3 years ago, but luckily, with what you have done and what other people have done, it's kept it in the public, and they don't like it because they try to drag it back into that back system. And you know, the team you got behind you keep pulling it back into this system, and they're like, "No, I don't know what I'm going to do with this." And now we've got them.
Yeah, the public's got to keep it in the front system. We've got to keep it, stand up in truth.
Yeah.
Stand up for who you are and just don't play their games.
Yeah.
They're over. This is exposure time. We know that 2024 is bringing heaps out. The truth's coming out. We know the harms of this.
Yeah.
We know the miscarriages.
Yeah.
You know, they've all been informed of it. So now they can't wriggle out of it because they're all on notice. They're all on notice for their crimes. And I said that in the...
I mean, how much has miscarriages gone up by since that?
I can't remember the exact numbers, but I know that they've gone up maybe 45%. The birth rate's absolutely plummeted. You know, and you're hearing the communities talk about the stillbirths have escalated. You know, the preterm births are, you know, I'm hearing it from communities and women, because remember, I'm a homeopath, so I'm doing lots of homeopathic stuff and healing the vaccine injured and the traumatized. That's what I'm doing right now. And I do it pro bono, you know. So I'm not working because the communities need it. And you're hearing these horrific sadness stories. You know, the sudden deaths, the older people. I mean, how many funerals have we been to? I've been to heaps of funerals of late. You know, and they say as you get older, more people are dying. What, this many?
No, it's
this
all
many? 70s, 60s, 40s. You know, so people have got to start. And I know a lot of people are waking up because they are getting conversations when I go out.
I'm noticing a hell of a lot now, going to different people's houses, customers, and literally they are beginning to
wake up.
Yeah.
And the other thing is as well is that
they're like, I'm not going to say anything. And I go, look, what's me to talk to?
And the other thing I want to mention through this, actually, remember I was in ill health. You know, my drainage and waterworks were not working. I had indwelling catheters. I was totally not well. We sent them all that information, and it says, oh, it doesn't matter. You know, you still, you know, we believe you're still practicing. So they're not going to let you not practice in their mindset.
Yeah.
That's subjective, isn't it? We believe.
We believe it. It's not objective. It's like we believe and blah blah blah, and it's a feeling and this and that and blah blah blah. It's not real.
And then
Well,
I believe you're a danger because you give post-dated lab forms out. And I said to the prosecutor, and what qualifications have you got? And she did the backward flip again.
not that the old, I'm on a boat.
Yeah, because that's what they do. They read their subjectiveness into it, right? You're not allowed to become an autonomous practitioner with preventative care and incorporate all the things so you don't work with tick-off boxes, which is not healing women. It's driving them into hospital for care. It's driving the C-section rate up. It's driving the preterm births up, and it needs to stop. And we need total public support because we're doing this for the kids, for the future, that they can birth babies with confidence and know how to take care of themselves. And that's why in Lansdale Water Council International have put up the 80 videos on Rumble. We've put 3 videos up there on Rumble, My Body, My Baby, in capital letters. Search it and go through them. It teaches you all you need to know, so that knowledge is power. You go into that hospital, you say, here's my body. Do what you want with it. And as long as you're in control, it's fine. But the moment you lose control, you get post-traumatic stress disorder. And that impacts you and your baby for years, for a lifetime. And that impacts the communities. So this is what this is about.
Yeah. Do you think this is, I mean, we watched a lot of stuff on narcissism and everything else. Is this way of creating narcissists by doing this to the children? Because no one really knows where it's come, no one knows where it's really come from. But that conversation we've had, it would make sense with that trauma of that birth would then create that trait for what they want.
Yeah, because it continues forward from generation to generation. But they've also split the families. I've just had a beautiful Chinese family with me, and disrespect for the grandparents. But when you look in China, the kids are at school, 5 days a week, long hours. They're up 11 o'clock at night doing homework. Their weekends are homework. The 2 parents in the family are working like Trojans. Yeah. And the grandparents don't even get to see the kids. So for this first time we went on a boat ride, and I said to that young man, I says, you need to get up there with your grandfather. You need to get to know him. You'll understand why he's grumpy. You respect him more. You need to have this time together. So that's what they've been doing over the years, is splitting up family, okay, causing this trauma. You know, a lot of our kids are suicidal these days because they've got no future. They're not taught the basic skills of doing the garden or decorating the house, because they've made sure that people rent properties. And when you rent properties, you're not there permanently. They keep moving you. So you've got no interest in painting the house or making windows or growing the vegetables. You know, they've destroyed all that in our communities, and now it's time for the people to wake up and take it back and say enough is enough.
Yeah.
There's too much trauma out there. We deserve to live life with abundance, with love, and all that. We know our utilities and everything should be free. They put mortgages on us with lands that don't belong to us. We're paying for leased land.
Yeah.
You know, the whole lot of it is entwined. And the beautiful thing about what we have in Lansdale Water Council International is that each community is facing the specific problems, and they're attacking them from all directions to bring the house down. And this is what needs to happen. So we love you guys.
That's why we showed that video. They need acting, and that's why we thought
no more hiding.
No more hiding. It is now face, name, and the shame and print of what they've done, who they are, and if you're proud of what you've done, and don't come moaning at us when people know who you are, what you look like, and what you've done. Don't moan about it. Own it.
I mean, my husband's really. Yeah, my husband's really vulnerable. You know, he needs me. And all through this, they're sending private investigators, dumping documents at the front door,
Yeah, of course they are.
traumatizing him.
Yeah, of course
He
they do.
lives every day in fear.
Absolute parasites.
You know, so where does this start and finish? Because why are they reacting like this? We've sent them kilos and kilos. We've sent them we've given them opportunities to meet with us in the private. We've sent the evidence, we've sent the affidavit, which they've not rebutted, but they just ignored absolutely every part of it. We followed process, even their process. G36 notices. Emma Farmer got one to admit facts, and ignored.
The thing is, this name suppression. I mean, there's that many people involved with this, and the next video we'll be doing the rest of all the names and the places and who they are and what they've done and everything else, right? Like a rogues gallery of the Midwifery Council. Yeah. My God, how many name suppressions they're going to try and put out? Because you're all involved. This isn't about one person and one person's name. Mr. Farmer or Mrs. Farmer, I don't know which one it is. She got confused about the whole situation. So we don't even know who we're dealing with.
No, and why
Not
would you
really.
want?
It was just like, what? What?
Yeah, and if you're standing in truth, you've got nothing to hide. You know, I mean, like, okay, we know we've all been through turmoil, relationships not work, some things in the past, but why should you hide it? Because it's history.
I'll just do as I'm told.
It's about who we are now. I mean, you know, I've seen so much trauma, so much family abuse, so many things as a midwife. You know, I think midwives would make the best people to run this, the ones that are connected, because you see so much. You know, your boots on the ground in the communities with the people, and you see the problems, and you see that the good and the bad and the ugly. So it's important that we get this right, and that what we've done today is out there, and that they stand up. So it doesn't matter if you're in Canada, Australia, UK, you write to your Integrity Health and you bombard them and you ask for audits on these people, because they're just a few people pushing pen. And there's a lot of good people out there that deserve much better. And you're the majority, the good's the majority. So these people need to be named, shamed, blamed, and driven out so that for our kids. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Irene.
Thanks,
I
Irene.
really do appreciate all the hard work that you've put in and everything. And yeah, good on you. Well done, Irene.
Looks good for her age as well.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Still going. I mean, like, you know, my days of going to births is over, man. You know, it's like I'm a journalist, an author, you know, a lecturer. So, you know, what are they expecting that I'm going to be doing?
Well, you're some sort of threat.
Absolutely.
Big threat. Yeah, a big threat. And
I mean, they've bought out the big guns, and like, if that's the best they got, wow. This is going to walk.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about the Phyllis Louis team later, because I mean, she's the one that
we've
was
got the rest of all the
pushing
through. Go through, yeah.
All right.
Thanks for Irene.
All the
best. We love you
lots of love.
God bless.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.